Hey everyone, it's Raka again. Just a really quick video today. I just wanted to talk about kind of this idea that I like doing, which is pushing the financial boundaries. A lot of people won't do this, especially at the start of the season, because it's high risk, and therein kind of lies an opportunity, in my view. This year we have at least three defenders that are 4.0. Um, and that's pretty good, I think, in my view. We have a goalkeeper that's maybe viable at four as well. It is obviously risky. You may not have a third defender playing or a goalkeeper one game, but I think that's worth the risk and reward in my view because you're often just talking a difference of 4 points. It's not a very huge swing in the game in the scheme of things, and again, I come back to we don't know which defenses are going to be good this season. Like we have some data in terms of the season ticker, of course, and but we don't really know. If you watch Mark's Black Box video, which I'll show you, I'll link in the notes as well. He has a good stat about how, there's more and more goals scored, less and less clean sheets. So what used to be home bankers like Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Forest might score a goal, right? Brighton, maybe we don't know, right? Like promoted team should keep a clean sheet, but may not. The whole point is that we don't know. Like this could be a cagey 0-0, 1-1 affair, Chelsea Liverpool, or it could be like 3-3 or 2-3, right? Like even I mean United should keep a clean sheet against Wolves, but one sort of good Neves free kick, a brand new goalkeeper, and suddenly you've lost that clean sheet. So clean sheets are hard to predict, maybe harder than goals and assists, especially at the start of the season. So I think there is a case to be made for going super cheap in defense. It follows the past trends. It'll probably get you through till your first wild card. Worst case, your wild card after 3 game weeks, fine, right? And switch to a more expensive defense. You switch one of your 4.5 guys or four guys to someone that's actually playing. That's all fine in my view, right? So that's the cost, and here's kind of the payoff. The payoff is you get to spend all of that money in your attack. So you don't have to make compromises in terms of what is the 6.5 or 7 mil midfielder that's going to do well. You can kind of invest in midfielders that you think have a much higher likelihood of scoring points, right? And this could easily be a 7 or 7.5 attacker like Darwin and Cuckoo if you feel that way. I think both of those are too risky at the start of the season for me, even though Darwin scored like 4 goals and Cuckoo scored a few, and it seems like he is going to be the main man in Chelsea, and maybe Chelsea will be good, but I'm okay to wait and see on both of those. So yeah, and I guess the other thing I wanted to show you was this player comparison tools in Fantasy Football Scout. I really like this. Quite often in the game, you're doing a 50-50 decision, and this just lets you kind of line that up. So it gives you the heat map, which is really nice. It gives you this overall stat summary, which is a great summary. And I usually scroll down and have a look at like XGI. So here, like they haven't actually highlighted XGI, right? Well, they've done minutes per XGI, so I think that's a good way of comparing, especially attackers. See here, they're giving Saka an advantage, and I kind of agree against Martinelli. Like Saka is on penalties, he's the main man at Arsenal. I want Saka in my team. Martinelli is also almost as good for zero point 0.5 less. You can see their XGI last year, if you look at all the games, it was about the same. And what I really like about this is you can also do the game week range. So, for example, you can look at how did they finish. I mean, there's a long gap between sort of the last 6 game weeks and the start of this season. A lot's changed, but hmm, that's interesting. I should be able to get the last 6 matches. Let's try last 6 matches. Um, and the difference between matches and games here is matches counts when they played last. So if there's like a double game week or a blank game week, you're still getting data of the last 6 that they actually showed up in, versus last 6 game weeks, you kind of lose that data. So if you look at the end of last season, for example, they're pretty even, right? Not a lot to split them. Go down to XGI. Okay, Martinelli actually had the edge. We remember that Saka kind of dropped off in the early season, and sorry, the late season. And another thing I really like is the fact that you can compare like early season to late season, right? So you can put a game week range. So let's have a look at the first, 20 game weeks versus Saka in the last 10, shall we say. So game week range, and we'll go from like say 28 to 38. And this is a nice button, the averages per appearance. I wish it was an average per 90, which would be a more standard measure, but okay, average per appearance, which kind of equalizes it if they don't show up, if they didn't show up, which is good. So we can see Saka versus himself. You can see he was much better in the first half of the season, right? 61 versus 39. We go down to XGI. Yeah, you got a whole point one of an XGI per game or per appearance. So yeah, we can see the drop off in Saka, which is quite nice as well. I wish they had this timeline view. What I've suggested to them in the past is do like a visualization which kind of gives you a game week by game week, and even you could overlay the season ticker against that. And I've built that in the past, and I might do that again this season. So here's a few others. If you're considering Martinelli versus Bruno, wow, Bruno goes everywhere, right? Whereas Martinelli's focused in the forwards, but this gives Bruno the edge. I go down to XGI. Okay, they're even. Bruno's on pens, so maybe you go Bruno, right? Let's compare Martinelli to Jota or Yoda. Uh, Martinelli gets the edge here. Go down to XGI. Martinelli still gets the edge. Okay. Yoda had a very sort of poor season in terms of like injuries and things like that. I'm kind of curious. Let's go back to maybe his Wolves days, 2020, and compare Jota versus Martinelli last year. Is he better then? Let's see, drum roll. Okay, Martinelli still gets the edge. XGI is still better, but much closer. So okay, so maybe you can go with Diego Yota. But I just love him. I think he's got a lot of brace potential. Uh, Bruno versus Rashford. Okay, yeah, it's really interesting. It gives Bruno the edge here. XGI, same. Okay, so maybe you can get away without Rashford and just Bruno, especially since Bruno's on pens. Um, yeah, that's really it. That's what I wanted to take you guys through today. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this and the comparison tool. Thanks. Bye.